Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Hunt Club podcast. Today, we have a product briefing for our January 2026 platform enhancements. It's our very first one of the year, so please sit tight, listen to some really great features. And today, I have Tiff with me. Tiff, do you want to say hello to the audience?
Hey everyone, welcome back. Excited to share what's new.
Yeah, we have a lot of amazing stuff coming up this year, but starting first in January, we have new Azure detections. So, Tiff, can you talk us through each one of these?
Yeah, of course. So over the time, our security research team continuously monitor attacker behaviors in Azure environment to create these new behavior-based AI detections to find these unique special behaviors that we've observed. So basically now we are able to find attacker behaviors when they delete or modify a resource associated with a DNS security policy, which means that they're trying to evade defense. We can also now detect when they try to delete flow logs resources, which means they're trying to remove visibility for the security teams. When we are also able to see when there's unexpected creation and modification of Azure network security groups or firewall resources, which indicates there's lateral movement happening in the environment. And last but not least, we are also able to see any deletion on backups or immutability policies that may indicate risky behaviors that is associated with ransomware gangs. So overall, it's really giving visibility in attacker techniques in Azure environment for security teams. But we not only provide that, we also correlate these behaviors with Entra ID, M365, AWS, and your on-prem data center so that you can see the full attack code chain to make sure that it is prioritized and that you can stop the attack before it even reached any damage stage.
Gotcha. So this is the coverage that is needed to kind of funnel into the clarity, right? Of what the entire attack looks like.
Yes.
If I'm understanding correctly. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. So these are net new detections, and from my understanding of detections overall, we're gonna continue to enhance each detection over time. But these are net new, right?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. So there's also, as I mentioned, detection enhancements. There's a detection enhancement for Azure Tor activities. So can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, we don't only launch the detection, but we always enhance it based on our customer feedback, our NDR data, and also our security research on what they're seeing in the wild based on red team results, etc. Our goal is to give you the best signal fidelity as best as we can. So this is one example of that on how we enhance the Azure Tor activity detection. Basically, we improves prioritization so that Tor-related behaviors now surface quickly in your environment so that it gives you better signal clarity and we help you stop these behaviors earlier.
Mm-hmm. I see. And that improving prioritization really speaks to our clarity too. So we want to make it less noisy, but still incredibly accurate, right, Tiff?
Yes,
Sure. Okay.
totally.
Awesome. We also have net new Entra ID detections too. So Tiff, we want to talk about these two right here.
Yeah, sure. So on the Entra ID side, we have two detections now to identify suspicious operations better. And so the first one here is that we are able to detect and surface anonymous guest user invitations, which is often seen in a lot of social engineering attempts. And the second techniques here that we now detect is basically unusual sign-on using a proxy or a VPN. Basically, this is something that attackers love to use to mask their true location. And the special thing on the second one is that it is basically a detection that comes from an enriched data source behind. So back in the last year, Vectra has been focusing a lot in in acquiring collection on open source and proprietary threat feeds that basically helps drives better detection fidelity. So what we do is that we enrich our valuable cloud data with these IP information and reputation, basically to help our AI models make better decisions. So as a result, you will see a lot more coming up, but it really helps, gives the ability to surface these suspicious behaviors earlier and with higher clarity. So this is just the first example, and there will be a lot more use case coming from that enriched data set. So stay tuned on that.
It's amazing. I have a quick question for you, actually. So you kind of mentioned this specifically about our AI model, but like detection for anonymous guest user invitations, sign-ons from approximate proxies. Are there situations where these are actually like false positives in a sense, or does Vectra have sort of like a filter or some sort of tuning that helps users figure out the difference between what's actually truly malicious or not malicious? Is there something like that?
Yeah. Of course. So we do have our AI triage that
Mm.
basically looks at all the activities that we see, and we automatically investigate the benign ones so that we make sure that we truly surface the malicious and the real one for you based on what we understand as the attacker behaviors and what normal looks like in your environment. So that really help drives the signal clarity as well.
Mm. Amazing. So that we have that AI triage to continuously learn your environment, what's like benign within your environment. That's really awesome. Great, thank
Yeah.
you. All right, enhancement number 4, our EDR process correlation in private preview. What is this?
So EDL process correlation with these capability now, we basically automatically collect and contextualize endpoint process telemetry from CrowdStrike, and we correlate it with network detections inside the Vectra AI platform. So what it does is that so analysts can now see file names, command line, hash, execution time, or parent process immediately inside Vectra AI without switching between consoles. And this alone replace a manual workflow, and it eliminates the need for custom schemes or correlation logic that can actually save up to 30 minutes per detection. And if you want a deeper analysis, there's also a pre-populated CrowdStrike link that takes you directly to the right data in the CrowdStrike console to speed up your investigation. So this capability now is in private preview. We will have it launch very soon, and we will also plan to expand this capability to Sentinel-1 and Microsoft Defender as well. So stay tuned for more.
That's super exciting. Saving 30 minutes is it may seem a little bit like just a small amount of time, but it means huge moves for security teams. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So switching gear to over to you, Zoe. I know you worked a lot on our 360-degree response. So I know this is one of the enhancements that now we can do password reset for account lockdown. So tell us more about that.
You said it exactly right, Tiff. So it is an expansion of our 360 response specifically for Azure AD, Entra ID specific actions. So like identity-based attacks. We're doing an entire password reset for our account lockdown action specifically. So this means that it revokes the sessions for the user, forces a password reset, and it basically just contains that identity-driven threat by reducing dwell time and then risk without adding any operational complexity. So it stops the attackers in their steps completely, but it's just a simple password reset for, a normal user, which we do, every so often anyway. So this is really big because this
Yeah.
this like I said, stops attackers when it's needed. Just a keynote,
Yeah.
it can happen automatically and it can also happen
Hmm.
manually. So we have some thresholds within the platform itself where you can set it up to, trigger automatically. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the wider response capability too, right? Like that we can do account lockdown, host lockdown, device lockdown as well. Basically, all these different ways to stop the attackers, making sure that they don't stand a chance in organization's environment. So that's great. And I saw that we have another
Yes.
recent
I jumped ahead a little bit,
response
but yeah, go ahead.
enhancement as well. So tell us more about traffic lockdown.
Yeah, so like Tiff said, this is just another layer of our 360 response. So it's automated containment directly with supported firewalls. So, your Palo Alto or whatever it may be. What it does specifically is that Vectra is going to dynamically block those malicious IPs without manual rule creation or maintenance. So we can do that directly on the Vectra AI platform. and then you can see that block directly on your firewall. What this means, faster containment at the network edge with cleaner workflows and reduced response effort. I really want to emphasize here, like what Tiff said, we have identity lockdown, we have device lockdown, and then we have now traffic lockdown. And this is what covers the three sort of layers of an entire like modern organization here. So this is really important. We really cover all aspects of response actions natively within our, so it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that for this, there's some customers that mentioned that the capability actually even are better than something like TCP resets.
Yeah.
And it really
Yeah.
helps speed up the lockdown on the actual attacker behavior.
Absolutely. We have an entire blog actually about how TCP reset, like while it does something, it doesn't permanently stop attackers from progressing. There's like ways that
Hmm.
attackers can go around a TCP reset. So if you want to check that out, it's on our extra blogs. It's a really great read. Super short, but like very informative. And traffic lockdown is sort of a direct answer to that in situations where it's like, okay, like we put a TCP reset, but the attacker just goes around it, you know? So yeah, that's the case.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. So moving on to other parts, which is our reporting capability. Tell us more about this new report. What does it do? Who is it for?
Yeah, absolutely. So Operation Overview Report is a part of our portfolio of reports. We have another one called Executive Overview. We have other ones called Asset Inventory. But Operational Overview is specifically designed for the security team. It's a centralized SOC performance and impact reporting dashboard report. It's kind of the same thing. So there's a bunch of metrics on there. You can see top detections. What I'm really excited about is MITRE attack mappings and then prioritize entities. It also talks about your workflow. So like mean time to respond 10 minutes, was it mean time to prioritize 75 seconds, something like that, just so you can get a pulse on how your team is doing, what's going on in your environment. And what this really helps security managers or even like up to like the executive level is to see that there is a defensible proof of security effectiveness coming from Vectra. And it's really great for audits, business reviews, just understanding how your team is doing. And yeah, I think it's a really great report. It's our part of our entire portfolio, so please check that out. And I think I did a podcast actually specifically about this report, so I'll link it down in the description below. But yeah,
Yeah, amazing.
and yeah, I think. Oh,
I think that's
there.
it for
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, I think that's it for January. And we have our release notes listed all the details in here. So make sure you check that out. And a lot more is coming in the coming few months. We're super excited about that. So stay tuned and make sure you check out our other content in the podcast channel as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Tiff. And thanks, Tiff, for joining me on this product release enhancements podcast. So, audience, what are you excited about? Personally, I really love the report. I think it just really puts tangible numbers to the things that you're doing. But please comment below. What do you think is the most interesting, the most exciting, or what would you like to see next in our platform? We would love to hear from you. But once again, thank you so much for your time, Tiff. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.